Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Marvelous Monday. I'm Leslie Watkins. So how is everybody today? It's a beautiful, cool spring day here in Northwest Connecticut. I was out earlier and noticing how much height the daffodils have put on. They are growing in leaps and bounds, and I'm sure that as soon as we get some really warmer days here, they're just going to be popping out all over. I've been playing with the Daffodil Daydream stamp set, and even more so with the dies. So these are the daffodil dies, and this is a really, really big die set. There are 24 of them in here, and they will help you to make 3 different daffodils and a butterfly, and they're really cute. And I'd been wanting to play with these for a while to see what I could do. I've been looking around the internet at some of the other ideas that people have had, and nothing was really appealing to me. They were looking kind of heavy and coarse, and the colors weren't quite right. And I really wanted something that was a bit more ethereal, because the daffodils that I love are, well, all daffodils are in the Narcissus family, and the ones that I particularly like are the poet daffodils, or the poet narcissus. And they're very delicate. They have beautiful translucent petals and beautiful little apricot cups or trumpets, and they're very fragrant, and they're delicate and beautiful. And I just wasn't getting that from what I was seeing, so I was a little concerned. But I started playing with it yesterday, and I think I've come up with a way to soften these so that they look very much more appealing to my eye anyway. So let me know what you think. I'm curious to see if you like this sort of treatment. So what I have here is a very vanilla card base and a envelope. I've got a piece of very vanilla scrap and a piece of the soft sea foam. And I'm just going to trim these down. So I've got my trimmer here. All of the materials that I used today I will list below after the video. So if you're interested in getting any of these things, or if you have any questions, just post them below, and you'll be able to click on the links to get to the online store. And I'm just checking to see that we're hooked up here. That looks good. Okay. We are live. And there's some people out there. Good morning, Vicki. Hello, Kelly. Do either of you have this stamp set, the Daffodil Daydream and the dies, and have you started playing with them? I'm curious to see what everybody's doing with them. So I'm just going to trim this down. I'm going to do this at 4 1/8. And then over here, I'm going to trim this at 5 5. What is that? 5 5. 5 3/8. Okay, so just a little bit smaller than the card base. So I'm only about 1/8 of an inch is going to show around the edges. And then for my panel, I'll cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And that's just going to give me the tiniest bit of green showing around the edge. I think I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. So let's make this at 4 Oh, that's too much. 5 1/8. And 3 7/8. Let's see what that gives us. Better. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So something that looks like that. So I'm going to put my trimmer away. This is not going to be a long video. I've done some of the work ahead of time to save time, and I've got a very busy day ahead of me today. So I just wanted to tune in to show you what I've been working on, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using this set a lot more in the next month. So so there are my bases, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this together. There we go. I want to get this so you can. Ooh, that wasn't good. I think we're safe though. I think that part will be covered. There we go. Get my glue eraser out for that. Does everybody have a glue eraser? If you do not have a glue eraser, you need one. Back in the day of doing mechanical paste ups, we called them rubber pickups. But since we've been using computers to do all of our graphic images and our type, that's kind of a obsolete word now. I did not do a very good job of getting that on there straight, but you, of course, will do a much nicer job than what I'm doing here. So this is the glue eraser. If I just find that spot, just gently rub that glue away. And there it is. Perfect. Okay, so that's my very simple card base. Very delicate. And then all I want to do now is to add my images or my die cuts of the flowers. And as I mentioned, I've been busy, so I've got a selection here ready to go. And what I've done is I've used the soft sea foam as my leaf color, and then I have an assortment of these beautiful daffodils, and I've kept them almost monochromatic so that I just had a very soft kind of impression. It's almost like a paper sculpture impression. So I'm just going to get these arranged on here. Something like that. And I'll have a place down here for my sentiment. There's also a really cute butterfly that's included in the dies. And I may or may not add a butterfly after I see what this all looks like. So I'm thinking something like this. All right, so So the first thing I want to get some of these background leaves down first. And what I'll do is I'll trim the stems afterwards. So I'm not going to put the glue all the way to the end of the leaf until I decide where I want my leaves to be. And I've used my bone folder on the petals and the bud to give it a little more dimension. So they're not just lying flat. I think one of the beauties of using these flower dies is that you can give them just a little bit of a shape, and it just adds that beautiful three-dimensional quality to them. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to give this a little bit of a trim now. And I'm going to use my tweezers just to hold that up for a second while I put a little drop of glue underneath there. Now, if you save these little pieces of scrap paper, you can use them to apply. Let me see if I can show you this closely. You can use them to just get your glue exactly where you want it, and then kind of slide them out. Okay, so that's going to stay down now. All right, so that's my background, and just something like that would be so pretty. Isn't that elegant? So soft. But we've got all these wonderful flowers to play with. And I think what I'm going to use for this, I'm going to get my dimensionals. Okay, before I do that, I just want to see where that's going to go. All right, so right, something like that. Get another one. What's nice about these dies is that they have a kind of a short, like a foreshortened flower die, so you can really get a wonderful sense of perspective with them. So that's a lot of fun. All right, let's see how I want to do this. Something like that. Okay. Now I'm not going to put a sentiment on this today because I'm not sure what I want to use this card for, but I think it would make an absolutely gorgeous Mother's Day card or an Easter card, and be absolutely perfect for any kind of just a plain note card to send to let somebody know that you're thinking of them. All right, now I've got another leaf here I'd like to add. See if I can grab it. And one more. Now you could, of course, add a little bit of the either some baker's twine, some ribbon, but I'm going to keep it very, very simple today because I think the dies are enough just on their own. Okay, let me do a little bit of a cleanup here. And there is my soft and ethereal take on the beautiful Daffodil Daydream bundle, and I'm very happy with this. This is a fairly dimensional card because of all of the layers. So just having that additional dimensional underneath the flowers, I think would mean that you'd want to be very careful about sending this through the mail. But it wouldn't hurt it. It just might flatten it out a bit, but I think it would pop back up again. But you might want to have it hand stamped. So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. I will be back on Wednesday for Watercolor Wednesday. All of the information about this card will be posted below in just a few minutes once I can get those links put up. If you're interested in learning more, please go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and subscribe to Notes to be notified of all of my online events and classes, and also to find out more about the Watercolor Card Club, where you learn to paint a new subject each month. And you can also find my videos on YouTube at Dandelion Cottage Design, and on Instagram at Dandelion Cottage. You can see a little bit more about where I live and the chickens and the gardens and all sorts of things. So thank you so much. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I will see you next time.